And I'm going to, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance before the roll call, so I'm set up for that. And I'll call on David.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
All right. Director Barsanti. Here. Director Burke. Here. Director Couch.
Here.
And Director Mayo is absent. Director
Here.
President Corbett.
Okay. Additions to the agenda, these have to be under the legislative code, things that could not have been discovered ahead of time that have to be urgently acted upon. Are there any such additions?
No additions to the
Any
agenda.
additions from the public? Okay. Can we have approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. Can we please have the roll call?
Director Barsanti.
Yes.
Director Burke. Yes. Director Couch.
Yes.
President Corbett.
Yes. We have no closed session scheduled. We have no public hearings scheduled. Does the public want to make any comment on any item that is not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the district? We prefer people say their name, but they don't have to. Okay? Let the record reflect no one stepped to the podium. Consent calendar. Does any board member want to take an item off the consent calendar? Does staff want to take an item off the consent calendar? Does the audience request anything off the consent calendar? Hearing none, can I have a
I would
motion?
move we approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
And do we add a roll call?
Director Barsanti.
Yes.
Director Burke. Yes. Director Couch.
Yes.
President Corbett.
Yes. E, continued and new business. E1, 2019 California Water Environmental Association CWEA Awards presentation, attachment 1 on page 37. I guess actually it starts at 36. James.
Each year,
And then just so everyone knows the procedures, staff's going to complete the whole thing, then we come up for the pictures at the end. That way there's no confusion.
each year, CWEA presents awards at their annual banquet. Nomination forms are submitted by agencies recognizing their staff or facility for the award. A committee then reviews the nominations and chooses a worthy recipient for each category. This year, the following awards were received. Drew Small received Operator of the Year due to his dedication in achieving his certification in running the wastewater treatment plant facility. The district as a whole was also honored with Collection System of the Year Award. I'll skip a few things. I'm going to read the nomination forms. Safety Award and Treatment Plant of the Year Award. I'll read the nomination forms really quick and then I'll get them up here. Drew Small, we'll start with Mr. Small. Drew has had an impressive start to his wastewater treatment plant career. He spent his time as operator in training in the middle of a multi-million-dollar plant upgrade, getting his training alongside other experienced certified operators. After the departure of our primary operator, Drew chose to step into the role even though he was a newly minted operator. Since his start in 2017, he has acquired his Grade 2 certification, passed his Grade 3 exam, and in this was scheduled to take his Grade 4. As of last night, Drew got word and immediately texted me, because he checks every night, that he had passed that Grade 4 exam. So, congratulations. And I want to add on that matter, because I'm the one who took it and passed it on the 4th time. That it's not an easy test, and Drew, I'm very impressed, first time in, and passed that test, so congratulations, Drew, good job. He continues to provide as the chief plant operator with sound observation and suggestions as it's critical to our operations. With all that he has achieved and continues to strive for is why Drew was selected as the operator of the year. So I have Drew's certificate or his award here.
Nice, very nice.
And the microphone back here. I'll give that to him when he comes up. The next one we have, as the district as a whole, and I know you guys are used to seeing this because the district does get awards every year, but they are hard to beat. This team is hard to beat for people. So, this one is for the collection system of the year. So McKinleyville conducts quarterly hydro cleaning on sewer mains that have been identified as potential issues. The district also conducts semi-annual hydro cleaning on sewer mains that have caused backups in the past, which is part of why you see the reports is the semi-annual and the quarterly hydro cleaning. The staff inspects manholes annually, fixes I&I problems when found. Routine maintenance and repairs of whatever prevents MCSD from having any overflows during heavy rain events during the wintertime, which is why MCSD won that award. Small plant of the year. As you guys know, I don't need to read this one. We just went through a plant upgrade, which is doing very well, and putting in good numbers, or putting out really good numbers. I had no doubt we were going to get this award. We could have gotten it last year, but we would have knocked Blue Lake out if we did. So, but yeah, so very proud of the treatment plant, so I won't go into that one. And the last one, safety, which is one we're very proud of. The staff at McKinleyville CSD prides themselves on getting tasks completely safely and efficiently. The staff is currently on trainings that teach them how to avoid and spot potential hazards. When entering confined spaces, trenches, handling chemicals, handling chlorine containers, and dealing with the public, MCSD staff approaches it with a safety-first mindset. This one is really important to me, and I'm sure important, very important to the district too. These guys are very safety mindset, and they do an excellent job. I don't know how you want to bring these guys up, and I don't know if Greg wants to say anything on this matter, but we basically have two photos, one with all the guys, with these alone with Drew. But yes, I'm very proud of these guys. Like I said, it's hard for people to beat them. I wish they all could have made it. I didn't force them. I said those who can. And some came even without daycare. These guys are a really strong team, and when we send them trainings, they're the most knowledgeable staff there. When we send them out to work, I would put them hand in hand against anybody. So they're really good, talented. And to be honest, they could have won every single award if we didn't want to look pretty good. These guys are that good. So thank you to all of you guys.
Any board comments? And then we'll, or
Pictures after that.
You're at the picture. We're going to get down. I just want to thank the employees. I love the awards. They're right down in the pipes. We got a safety in the design of a sewer plant. We have a collection system of the year, which we really have been working on a long time. And the operator of the year award, all those are just right in the core of our operations. So, and you almost do get a feeling of clean sweep. So we need to not get arrogant, but keep up. What a heck of a great job our people are doing. So it's really appreciated. Okay. We like you so much, we want your photo.
Drew's
You're in the middle. Drew's in the middle.
Drew's in the middle there. And then we'll get them all
throne stepped up. You can have it.
Not all
Well.
of us.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Come on, Jake, your brother's good.
Aren't they pretty?
There you go. Yeah, James is being
You need to get.
Okay.
I'm going to be covered.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. No, I think I can see everybody show up. I could. There. All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Here you go.
Yeah, Board Member Burke wants to make a comment. Any other board members want to join in?
So just one last comment, which is, it's nice to see, the individual as well as the treatment plant honored in these awards. And I always get a great sense of the camaraderie and support that you all give each other. I think it's also important to extend the congratulations to James for running such a great department and to our general manager for helping us stay on track. So, big team effort, and especially it's nice to have you come here to the meetings so that, we can make the contact and see and celebrate our staff. So, thank you.
Any other board members?
So I think that as a sewer geek, one of the telling things about a treatment plant is when we talk is we ask how much I&I, what our percentage of increases in the wintertime, and to kind of prove what a great system we have, and it's all because of those guys going out and looking in manholes and finding infiltration and flow in the wintertime. Our average wintertime flow doesn't increase much more than about 100%. So while a lot of local treatment plants are experiencing 600 and 700% increases in their flows in the wintertime, we're going up about 100%. So that's amazing, and that's a testament to these people going out and doing the work in the pouring rain and looking in manholes and finding that and then making the repairs, along with also taking care of cleaning the lines and doing all the other things that are important, finding tree root damage, intrusion, and fixing that. But they're the boots on the street. But I think it's important that we also recognize management and also our ratepayers, because if it wasn't for our ratepayers allowing us to tax them, to charge the fees that we need to be able to maintain the system, it wouldn't happen. And also the bravery of our board of directors that understands that we need that money to be able to run the system, and actually allowing us to change and modify the rates so that we have the money to be able to maintain the system. So I just want to give a tribute to you, and then I would also like to individually go to the fellas for the hard work that they do, and recognize Drew for what he's done in getting his certifications. Drew is amazing. The amount of work he puts in, I can only imagine the hours and hours that he does after work studying and preparing for taking these certifications and going from a grade 1 to a grade 4 treatment plant operator is pretty stellar. And how long have you been at it? 3 years. 3 years. So that's an amazing feat. So anyway, that's all I had. Thank you.
I just wanted to thank both James and the general manager for setting the high standards and then creating an environment where our staff can thrive in meeting them. That's definitely very, very important. So we are a team at the end of the day. Thank you. Okay. Okay. E2, consider authorization for Director Mayo to attend the Association of California Water Agencies, ACWA 2020 DC Conference in Washington, D.C., February 25th, 27th, 2020.
So Dennis has gone to this at least last year. I couldn't tell if he went the year before, but this is the Aqua 2020 Washington, D.C. Conference, and it's set for February 25th through the 27th. He will be covering his hotel expenses and flight there, and so this, the recommendation is for staff to review for board to review the information provided and take public comment and consider authorization for Dennis Mayo to attend this conference and for the district to pay his conference registration fee and provide per diem.
Yeah, there'll be a slight change to it. So basically what we're asking the board to do is to authorize Dennis's travel. That way he's on our insurance. And if anything happens, that way there's a record that Dennis is actually insured by the district while he's there. So,
okay.
And he also, so I just got a phone call from him about 15 minutes before I came to the meeting, and he actually won a gift certificate for the registration for the conference where he's at now. So basically all the district will be doing is covering the cost of this per diem now. So anyway, just a little bit extra.
All right. Do we hear a motion?
I move to approve, we authorize Director Mayo to cover the expenses for Director Mayo to attend the Association of California Water Agencies conference. Does that cover both items?
Yep,
Fair enough?
that'll work.
I second.
Okay. Before we vote, I think I'm going to request as chair that we get a trip report back. What were the major policy issues discussed, who we met with, and future recommendations. Okay. Do you have that down, April?
I'm getting it right now, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Actually, you run the meeting because you keep the record, so we'll treat you kindly. Can you please take the roll?
Did we open it to the public?
Oh, I'm sorry. Does anyone from the public? I hear a violent protest out there. The record should reflect no one.
Director Barsanti?
Yes.
Director Burke?
Yes.
Director Couch?
Yes.
President Corbett?
Yes. Okay. E3, consider adoption of Resolution 2019-27, authorizing the general manager to enter into an agreement to secure the service for the placement agent and bond counsel for the pending real estate purchase.
Thank you. So staff reached out to Brandon Tallman and Kutak Rock. So Brandon Tallman was our placement agent for the financing at the teen center, and I reached out to them, got a proposal from them, and Kutak Rock was not the bond counsel last time, but Albert Rickens, who was our bond counsel for the previous placement, he works for Kutak Rock now. So the same basic team will be the same team that we used last time. So in having to have the financing package put together, and the bond counsel drawing up all the documentation, and Russ is very familiar. Russ Gans, District General Counsel, very familiar with them, and so I just thought it would be much more streamlined for us to be able to reach out to them. So basically what I'm asking for the board to do is to discuss, take public comment, and adopt resolution 2019-27 to authorize the general manager to enter into an agreement for the services of Brandis Tallman LLC as placement agent and Kutak Rock LLP as bond counsel for the issuance of obligations to finance the acquisition of certain real property of benefit to the district's wastewater system. So this resolution and these agreements in no way bind the district to any sort of financial obligation other than the cost for their services for this. Anything else will be brought back to the board in the documents. Any financing documents, funding documents will be reviewed by our general counsel also.
All right. Any board questions?
So related to the costs for services, are those fees under what the general manager has authorization to be able to?
No, that's why we brought it here. That's why I'm getting authorization from you, because it's over my discretionary amount.
But we don't have the amount in front of us?
Yes, it is. It's in there. And it's
okay.
And it's pending on the actual placement. There's no fee unless they are able to find funding. And I believe it's $40,000, 20 for bond counsel and 20 for the placement agent. Let me see if I can find it. It's in the agreement.
It looks like attachment 2, it's in the very first paragraph. In attachment 3, it's in item 2.
But yeah, okay. Yes, very good.
Any further comments or
No further
questions?
comments.
Okay, I'll open it up to the public. Does anyone from the public want to speak to this issue? There is nobody. Let the record reflect that. I'll bring it back to the board. I just had one comment in the general scheme of things. My personal experience is you better hire bond counsel. It's not something to do in-house. And they are the most detailed, persnickety people you may ever deal with. And adults from time to time have been known to scream in dealing with them. But they're essential, and you're not going to get your money without them. And so you got to work it out up front, and there's no mess later on. It's a good move.
And you develop relationships with people, and Rick Brandis and also Albert Reyes. I have great relationships with them. I trust them implicitly, but not enough to not have Russ look over everything that they do.
Right, I think that's, trust but verify.
Yes. But anyway.
Wise.
Yeah, and they're very eager to make this placement for us right now. Interest rates are as low as they're probably going to get, so we really want to get the ball rolling on this and get a good placement.
All right. Any further, Board Member Burke?
Just never having been through this process before, can you really, in layman's terms, just describe, this is they're helping us with a real estate transaction.
Sure, so Brandis and Tallman, their firm will basically put together a deal. We'll tell them how much money we want to borrow, and then they'll drop a proposal, and they'll shop that around to a bunch of different financial institutions. And we'll get proposals back, we'll get responses on that request back, and then we'll go through them and we'll review those, and whichever one is the best deal for the district, then we'll bring that proposal back to the board, ask the board if that's what they want. At that same time, we'll approve the paperwork, and the bond counsel then they drop all the paperwork. They basically drop all the legal paperwork that's necessary, and the placement agent basically goes out and shops for you. So they're two separate jobs. Come back, and so the next time we talk about this, it'll probably be a formal request for financing for the property.
I'd recommend for the process that our controller independently review and support it. Ordinarily, bond council won't do it unless you got a lot of money to pay it back, but again, I just think makes sense to have her independent review the financial liability of the transaction to hopefully complement the general manager. All right. So we need a motion.
Motion in a second.
I move to approve item E3 as per staff recommendation.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Do we have a roll call?
Director Barsanti?
Yes.
Did you want to open it for public?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Already. There was no public comment.
Okay.
I marked it.
All right. Groundhog Day.
It's okay. Director Barsanti?
Yes.
Director Burke?
Yes.
Director Couch?
Yes.
And President Corbett?
Yes. Okay, we're into reports. Recreational Advisory Committee.
Well, I had to chair a different meeting that night, so I missed it. But Leslie had an excellent report.
Okay. Area Fund, John Holstead.
Did not meet.
Redwood Regional Economic Development Commission, Mayo Barsante.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
You're alternate
Are we doing?
on the Redwood
Oh, okay.
Region Economic Commission.
I have no information.
Okay.
Yeah.
McKinneyville Senior Center, Barsante Berg. Yeah.
Let's see, I was out of town, so.
Okay, were you there?
I
Yeah.
did not.
Okay. Audit.
Oh,
Did you go?
Leslie does attend though, so we.
Oh, yeah, that's it goes.
There was nothing, no. Yeah,
they are looking for volunteers still. Their junior barn is coming in January, and they are really running out of space for classes. Although I talked to Patty Stammerer, who runs their memoir writing class, and that's one of the classes that needs a different space. And what they're not utilizing is the weekend time that they have allotted in the senior room. So I suggested that they change the date and time, day of the week and time of their class. Hopefully that works for them. Because there's nobody in there on Saturday, and we don't rent it anymore.
Okay.
Can the audience participate in that one, since I'm one of the seniors in the memoirs class? And
If you keep talking, I'm going to force you to go to the
You can make
microphone.
it come up with
it's
your
just
hand.
time for me to do something like that.
All right.
You knew it was gonna
I
happen.
was there, from Pat Barsante, thank you, resident of McKinleyville, but also a senior and taking classes. And I'd like to thank you guys for being here when there's not much going on. But we are running out of space. We've had to meet in closets and things like that, so, our group that's growing, memoirs classes, and we're kind of hard of hearing too, so it's hard to meet in a space where, that's conducive to, so we are looking for additional room, and, at some point, we'd like to, the board, try to get something worked out where we can have more room, so, thank you.
All right, thank you. Audit, nothing to report, I believe, for the board standpoint. Or do you want to?
The auditor has the final trial balance. It's finishing up the end of May. He will, as soon as he has that, he will send it to the audit committee for review, and the rest, I'm sure will facilitate setting up the meeting between the three of you and probably Greg, and then we will be ready to present that based on what the recommendation is. At the next regular board meeting.
Is the trial balance adjusted, or why don't we have it all the time, just as off the financial computer program?
There's, the year-end process is actually fairly complex.
Yeah, okay, I
It's
suspected
not,
so.
we present the June, a draft June treasurer's report, obviously, by the end of July for the August board meeting, but the actual year-end close process is a lot more complicated than that. Aside from the pension and OPEB calculations, there's the compensated absences liability calculation, that's done annually. There's the fixed assets review and the depreciation, the updated depreciation schedule, that gets done annually. It's faster than it used to be. I mean, the process is better, but it's still, there's a lot of things that have to happen, and then every account on the balance sheet has to be checked and documentation provided or produced or created to support the number, right? So everything on the balance sheet has to tie up to something in the real world. Inventory, fixed assets, bank balances, all of it. So when you add all of that together and the normal operation of everything, it does take some time, and then, yeah.
So essentially, we have a trial balance, but we have to make adjustments to complete the audit, and that's where the detailed information also is.
Right.
applies.
So
And the
do
auditor
you,
also-
excuse me, do you adjust the trial balance before you give it to the auditors, or do you have auditors adjust it for you, or?
No, the auditors don't adjust it. for
Do
me.
they recommend adjustments?
When they find an adjustment that they feel should be included, they will let me know, and I will make the adjustment.
Okay, so you actually have given them you have a trial balance, and then you have adjustments to it, and then you give it to the auditors, and they have that right now.
They have it.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually,
Thank you.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
made the final recommendation for adjustment, and I made the last adjustment, and I sent him the finished.
Okay, because you have a monthly trial balance, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, every month. you
Every
have a
month
trial
we have
balance.
a
Yeah.
trial balance.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what's the percent and the dollar amount of significance in our audit?
The percentage, I believe the percentage is, as I understand it currently, I can double check this with our auditor.
Yeah, and if you want to do that, you can
That's
just do it at the next
well,
one.
But I can give you a general
Yeah.
idea. When I started, the dollar amount of considered materially significant was about $20,000. And that was back when Hunter and Hunt was doing our audits and Kim Windsor was our auditor. A conversation that I had with the auditor yesterday and today has indicated that has gone up, that amount has gone up, but I think it's also partly because our asset base has gone up.
Right, I mean, it's a
So
percent
I
to
believe
dollars.
that, yeah, he sets that as there's some particular percentage of the total asset base.
Yeah.
And when I started, we were about $15 to $20 million total asset base, and now we're probably 35 plus to 40 million. So the dollar amount has gone up, but I don't think the percentage has, if that makes sense.
Does that amount include all the work that your outside person that does the trial balance for you? Does it include that amount too?
Oh, you mean the review?
Yeah, didn't you say that?
Nobody does it for me.
Oh, I thought that you last meeting said that Jackson Eklund was preparing it for you and said that's why it wasn't ready.
They're preparing the review. We have Scott Gordon at Jackson and Eklund. They're under contract, and he double checks my stuff.
Okay.
Basically. So we had, he would send back things like, why did you handle this fixed asset entry this way? And I said, because of this. And so, well, I think it should be handled that way. And we have those conversations every year. But the fact of the matter is, I'm human, I'm not perfect, I make mistakes. He's human, he's not perfect, sometimes I catch his mistakes. But having two eyes, two sets of knowledgeable eyes looking at it, dramatically increases the accuracy and the correctness of the final product.
So the trial balance, there's a trial balance, you check it, you check it, and then the auditors check it. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, everybody gets to look
All
at it.
I got it now.
I'm sorry, to play this back, what was the dollar amount of materially significant?
Andy.
And you need to do it next week.
He didn't actually give me a dollar amount, but it's more than $20,000. It's more than the $20,000 that it used to be.
I have in the ancient cranium around the time of the dinosaurs rolling around my head that it was about 4%. Does that still hold?
The percentage would stay constant, but I would strongly recommend that you double check because, again, different auditors and different firms view things differently, and so they may be operating on a slightly different basis from Hunter, and Hunt.
It might be public, but it's supposed to be pretty much a universal number. But I don't know. I mean, public is different than private, and anyway.
Yeah. But
I don't want to blow my meeting
that's
here.
part of the audit committee's conversation.
You're on a record roll.
Yeah, we can, Colleen will check, and get you, if they have a specific percentage, we'll get that number back to you.
Okay, great.
Just one last quick question.
You can threaten us with, oh, that's a really great question. It's going to take me about an hour to present, and I'm sure we'll defer to both one. Go ahead.
The auditor changes year to year, but our relationship with Jackson and Eklund is that's an ongoing. And this is an individual who's very knowledgeable about it has worked with you through the years.
Scott Gordon was the person who filled in as the interim finance director between the time when Steve Edmiston had left the district and before I was hired at the district. He was actually filling in. He was the one who showed me how he built some of the basics. Steve built some of the basic spreadsheets. Scott built some others. I've built others or refined the ones that we had. So he was the one who did a lot of my training when I came here.
It's great to have that kind of.
Yeah, or, I mean, not in Fund County, but in district-specific stuff. He showed me how to get through the district-specific stuff, which was fun. But so that makes him a really good person to review my work, because I need somebody who's really knowledgeable to review my work. Someone who really knows what they're looking at, not in large general terms, but in like nitpicky specific stuff.
Thank you.
Okay. Operations Department, James Henry.
No, we're back.
Our task force.
Still in.
Yeah, we still have to do water
committee
task
reports.
force.
Oh, I'm sorry. How did I
Nothing.
get off?
We were doing audit. That was all.
Oh, it's all on the audit. Okay. Employee negotiations.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Water Task Force.
Did not meet.
Ad hoc, no drugs and toxics down the drain.
Did not meet.
McKinneyville Municipal Advisory Committee.
The Municipal Advisory Committee did meet. We had a special meeting in the middle of the month here in this room where the county hosted a workshop style format to solicit input from the community on the desired town center attributes. And it was well attended and well facilitated. And I think there was, as the county staff said, there was a lot of agreement from the initial plans all the way through to present day. So I think there's a lot of agreement of what the community would want, and there's going to be a lot more dialogue on how to put that into action.
Okay. Well, reading from the paper, the atmospherics were good. It was well attended and representative of the community. Is that your sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And the next meeting is next Wednesday. Here it is?
Yeah.
Still here again? No, at the Pop-Up Museum. Pop-Up Museum is where it is. So that's next to Safeway, across Central.
Cornerstone Committee.
Did not meet.
Groundwater Sustainability Committee did not meet. Humboldt Local Agency Formation Commission couch.
We did have a meeting, and big business item was the Samoa Fire Department is morphing into the Samoa Community Service District, and we gave them a year extension because they're still in their process.
Is that going to go good? Because I know sometimes it's been a wild board out in Manila.
Well, no, not Manila, it's Samoa.
Samoa, I'm
So
sorry.
it's even, I
Okay.
don't know. I mean, Troy Nicolini is on
Yeah.
LAFCO, and he's on the fire department.
Okay, but it is what it's going to be at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my other thing is next week from Friday, I get to go to my first Cal LAFCO board meeting down in Sacramento. So that'll be
Is that your first one?
be my first one.
All right.
The executive director, I chatted with her for an hour today, I should say. She informed me of everything I would be doing. It was very good. She seems to be very on it. And
Okay.
told me everything.
Next item is staff report, support services.
Nothing further to add.
Gosh, James, do you have, can you top that? Operations Department, James Henry.
I definitely have nothing else to add to my report.
All right. Get that in a minute. Parks and Recreation, Leslie.
Nothing further to add.
General Manager, Greg Orsini.
I think that I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
Okay. President's report. Generally, I think we're meeting all our goals except for Parks and Rec. We have plenty of time to meet it, but we don't really, if you view, we have a new manager coming on. I don't want to leave the task to them. And the holidays sort of ambushed me, and something I thought would take a month, and 2 months disappeared, and so that's something we still need to address. And I'm expecting a smooth transition with Board Member Burke. Okay, Board Member comments.
Thank you for a year of leading our meetings, and I think it's any chance you get to thank someone who's been serving their community and across the state. It's really heartfelt appreciation for your leadership and being able to serve on this board and learn with you, from you. Thanks, John.
Well, thank you, very touching.
And thank you, John. Being a new board member, never doing this before, I really appreciate all your help. And it was kind of a wacky start, so thank you for all of that. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any other board member announcements, agenda items? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I would move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second
Roll call.
Director Barsanti. Aye. Director Burke.
Yeah, Director Cow
Yes.
and President Corbett.
I have a lot to discuss too. Yeah.